whichever attracts the highest GST, that will be considered for the levy of GST on the mixed supply. Input services added in intrastate GST rate charged was 12% on 12 lakhs. The terminology what they are given is inclusive. For that reason, 75 lakh into 6 divided by 106. Warm welcome to 6M B.Ba student. The subject we're discussing goods and services tax. The unit 3, time, place and value of supply. In our previous session, we have discussed about the meaning of supply and related persons and which type of supply are to be treated as supply, regular or irregular, or whether it should be not treated as supply, and even we are going to consider the time, place, how should be considered for the supply. This is a basic concept we had learned in our previous session. I am Professor Rajesh L.R. from Department of Commerce and Management from Vidhyaashram First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. In our previous session, supply of goods via agent, we have studied related persons, taxable person under GST, we have studied. In today's session, we are going to discuss composite mixed supply, specified rates for composition levy, who is eligible to register under GST, what are the documents are required for registration, benefits, and the format for calculation of GST for the value of supply, prompts on value of supply. We are going to have all these concepts in this session, which is very important from viewpoint of examination. Don't miss, my dear children, to get into the concepts and understand how the prompts will be there and what we are to consider and what we are to ignore from the examination point of view, as well as what Act says for you people. The first we have here, composite supply. A composite supply means a supply made by taxable person to a recipient comprising 2 or more supplies of goods or services or any combination thereof, which are naturally bundled and supplied in conjunction with each other in the ordinary course of business, one of which is a principal supply. They're saying that one, composite supply, as in the picture, we have clearly informed that when a person is entering for boarding and lodging, so both the things has been combined and the rate has been charged from the person who is going to stay in this particular locality. So the boarding and lodging includes the food also. Overall amount has been charged here. The principal supply was giving a person a room, accommodation, including food. The main principle is accommodation, providing accommodation where they included the food also. That is called as composite supply. For instance, a travel ticket from Mumbai to Delhi may include service of food being served on board. They are saying that when we are traveling from one place to other place, in some of the concept, the ticket amount, whatever we have paid for the travel, it includes free food and free insurance and use of airport loan. These are the benefits given by the facilities or the benefits for the person who is traveling from one place to another place through airlines. In this case, the transport of passenger constitute the predominant element of the composite supply and it is treated as principal supply, and all other supply are the additional benefit for the main principal supply. Composite supply and mixed supply. The next concept we have here, the GST law lays down the tax liability on a composite supply and mixed supply following manner. Composite supply comprises 2 or already I have said you people where both the things has been added in single concept. Mixed supply comprises 2 or more supplies shall be treated as supply of that particular supply which attracts the highest rate of GST. In mixed supply, when we are selling the goods or services, more than one product or the goods here. And in that one, for example, when we are selling A, B, C and D here in a mixed concept, A attracts 5% and here 9%, that is totally 18% here and 28% here. And here again it is 5%. In this one, whichever attracts the highest GST, that will be considered for the levy of GST on the mixed supply, not separate. For A, we will not calculate separate, B and C and D. Whichever the highest here, 28% will be considered for the levy of GST for the goods or services provided under the concept of mixed supply. Composition levy under GST. The composition levy is an alternative method of levy of tax designed for small taxpayers whose turnover is up to 75 lakhs, 50 lakhs in case of few states. The objective of composition scheme is to bring simplicity and to reduce the compliance cost for the small taxpayers. Moreover, it is optional and the eligible person can opt that one or he can ignore that one. Whichever is better, whether the normal tax scheme is better or composition scheme is better, he has to analyze. Based on that, he can opt the either composition or normal for the payment of GST. Now, specified rates of composition levy is clear here. Manufacturers, other than manufacturers of such goods as may be notified by the government, ice cream, pan masala, tobacco products, etc. 2% here, 1% central tax plus 1% state tax. That is nothing but 1% is CGST and 1% is SGST. So here, of the turnover, total turnover, whatever it is there on that one, 1% will be CGST and 1% is SGST. Next, for restaurant services, it is 5%. In this 5%, 2.5% will be CGST and 2.5% will be SGST. And the next, traders or any other supplier eligible for composition levy, here it is 1%. 1% means 0.5% and 0.5. This is for CGST and SGST. 1% is split into two goods and services tax, that is central and state. This is how the rate of tax are used for the manufacturers notified by the government. For them it is 2%, restaurant services 5%, and traders or any other suppliers who are eligible for composition scheme, for them it is 1%. Now, let us consider a problem here. Mr. Sambit is a trader. Say trader means it will be totally 1%. Furnish the following information. What is providing certain information for us and is requesting us to calculate what is the GST under normal scheme as well as GST under composite scheme. If it is GST under composite scheme means it will be 1%. Now, input purchased intra-state, GST rate is 18%. The amount is total value is 20 lakhs. Input services added in intra-state, GST rate charged was 12% on 12 lakhs. Capital goods was purchased intra-state, GST rate is 28% and the amount was 15 lakhs. So all these are tax paid. Tax paid. Output sold intra-state inclusive of all, GST rate 12%, 90 lakhs. This is tax collected. Tax collected. From the tax collected, less tax paid, the remaining is the amount of GST payable by the trader. Let us understand the concept easily. Now, under the normal levy scheme, let us solve here under normal levy scheme here. Here, the output tax liability is 75 lakh 75 lakh here into 6 by 106, the tax will be 4,24,528, 4,24,528. So now the tax what I have to pay means here I have collected the tax from the person on 75 lakhs, that is 12%. So 12% here, 6% for CGST and 6% for SGST. Here it inclusive, the terminology what they are given is inclusive. For that reason 75 lakh into 6 divided by 106. Or else 75 lakh into 6% was the major concept. So here it is 4,24,528. This the tax has been collected. And whatever the tax we have paid, like on input 20 lakhs, it was 18%, 9% for CGST and 9% for SGST. On 20 lakhs, 9% will be 1,80,000 I have paid and 1,80,000. Totally 3,60,000 was the tax paid. On input services, 12 lakhs, it is 12% here, 6% CGST, 6% SGST. That will be 72,072. So totally I have paid 1,44,000. On 15 lakhs, 14%, that is 28%, 14% for CGST, 14% for SGST. I have paid 2,10,000, 2,10,000. Total I have paid here 4,62,000, 4,62,000. But the tax collected here from the consumer was 4,24,528, and what the tax I paid here 4,62,000. The difference amount we are getting here negative, which will be carried forward for the next upcoming transactions. Right? There is no need to pay tax to the government because only we have paid excess tax to the government. That has to be adjusted in the other transactions. Only we have paid excess of 37,472 under normal scheme. This is the concept what we have under normal scheme. If we consider the composite scheme, on 75 lakh, 0.5% I have to calculate, where the tax has to be paid 37,500, 37,500, totally 75,000 tax I have to pay. And I'm not going to get any input tax credit under composite schemes. So now, what is the total amount I have to pay here? 37,500, 75,000 tax I have to pay. And I'm not going to get any benefit. Whatever the tax I paid here, no benefit will be given for me for the 4,62,000, whatever I've paid here. So now, whether for me, normal levy scheme is better or composite scheme is better, according to me, normal scheme is better because excess amount is already with the government. There is no need to pay tax here. But here, I have to pay the tax to the government here. So, which is better for me? Always, whichever is benefit for the person, suggest that one, advice for the person for whom the advice has to be given. Now, instead of paying tax to the government, already excess is there. This can be adjusted in the upcoming transaction. So, here the normal scheme is better. Second problem, input purchased is 30 lakhs, the same thing. 18% means it will be considered as 9% and 9%. Input here 6% and 6%. Capital goods, it will be 14% and 14%. That is CGST, SGST, CGST, SGST. And here, inclusive of all taxes means 1,35 lakhs, 1,35 lakhs into 6 by 106. That is CGST 6 and SGST 6. This is tax collected and these are tax paid. So, which scheme is better? We are going to discuss and we'll just suggest whichever is better and benefit for the taxpayer. 1,35 lakhs into 6 by 106, the amount tax collected is 7,64,151. That is nothing but 7,64,151. 7,64,151 is nothing but 302, 8, 12 and 1 carry. 15,28,302 tax has been collected from the consumer. Now, how much tax I have paid? We have to check. In that one, if anything is left out, I have to pay the tax to the government, or if excess is paid, that can be adjusted in the other transactions. Where I have paid the tax that is on input goods and 30 lakhs into 9, that is I have paid tax 2 lakh 70, 2 lakh 70, it will be 5 lakh 40,000. And on 14 lakhs, 84,084. And on capital goods, 4 lakh 20, 4 lakh 20. Here, I have tax paid 7 lakh 74 and 7 lakh 74,000. Means 7 lakh 74, 7 lakh 74,000. That is nothing but 8, 14, 1 carry, 15 lakh 48,000. Now, here, tax paid is 15 lakh 48,000. Tax collected 15 lakh 28,302. So now here I have paid excess amount to the government here. What is the difference amount we have here? 19,680. This excess amount can be adjusted with the further transaction, whatever we are going to make in the upcoming month or in the upcoming sale or services provided for the consumers. In the same concept, if we adopt composite scheme, where I have to pay 67,500, 67,500. So now, here I have to pay 67,500 and 67,500, totally 1,35,000. I have to pay the tax to the government here. But here, excess 19,000 is there. So better to have normal scheme only instead of paying tax to the government. Who is eligible to register under GST? All the business supplying goods whose turnover exceeds 40 lakhs in the financial year are required to register as a normal taxable person. However, the limit is 20 lakhs if you have a business in northeastern states, Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. In these places, it is 20 lakhs. In other places, it is 40 lakhs. The turnover limit is 20 lakhs and in case of special category states, rupees 10 lakhs for mixed supply and for service providers. Also, here is the list of certain businesses for which GST registration is mandatory irrespective of their turnover. So, certain businesses are there where they are not going to give the limited concept here. Whatever the business they are making, they have to pay compulsory tax to the government, whatever they have collected or whatever the purchase they are making for the purpose of doing any business or economic activity. Who is eligible to register under GST? Casual taxable person, input service distributors, non-resident taxable person, interstate supplier, supplier of goods through e-commerce, any service provider, liable to pay tax under reverse charge mechanism, tax deducted at source, tax collected at source, online data access, or any other service providing. All these people are eligible to register and compulsory they have to register and they have to adopt GST concept in the process of goods and services. What are the documents are required? PAN, that is permanent account number, copy of Aadhaar card, proof of business registration or incorporation certificate, identity and address proof of promoters, directors with photograph, bank account statement, cancelled check, authorization letter, resolution for authorized signatory and digital signature. These are the major documents are required for the GST registration. What is the benefit will be there? GST eliminates the cascading effect of tax, that is tax on tax schemes. Higher threshold for registration means higher rate of GST will be excluded here. Only normal concept of tax are levied. There will be no burden on the person who is going to pay the tax and later is going to get the benefit of input tax credit. Only the tax will be paid by the final and the ultimate consumer. Composition scheme for small business, easy online procedures, and it is very simple. Number of compliances is very less. Defined treatment for e-commerce operators, improved efficiency of logistics, unorganized sector in regulated under GST. These are the concept what we have and the benefits under GST registration. Now let us understand how to calculate the value of supply. For value of supply, the first concept here we have selling price of supply. First we have to consider, understand my children, it is 15 marks compulsory question for you people in the examination. First we have to write selling price of supply. While writing the selling price of supply, see the word whether we have exclusive or inclusive. What is the word we have? Check that one. If it is exclusive of tax means, so there is no need to calculate any tax here. If it is inclusive of tax means, I have to deduct the tax amount, then I have to write only the selling price of the supply of goods. Next, we have to add for that one advertising charges, publicity charges, design and development charges, packing charges, service charges, freight charges, loading and unloading charges. These are the amount should be added for the selling price of supply, and we have to deduct the discount. Then we are going to get the actual transaction value. On transaction value, I have to calculate GST. So GST will be added to the transaction value. The total will be called as value of supply. Transaction value plus GST is called as value of supply. First, we have to consider selling price of the supply. We have to check exclusive or inclusive. If it is inclusive, we have to deduct the amount. If it is exclusive, write the amount directly in the outer column and add all the charges which has been incurred in the process of selling the goods or services. And if any discount is provided, deduct that one. So then we are going to get the transaction value, add the GST. So based on inter or intra. So based on that, add the GST, that is CGST, SGST or IGST, whichever is there, add that one based on the percentage, and adding transaction value with the GST, we are going to get value of supply. Let us consider one simple problem here. The selling price of the supply is 2,50,000. They have not given any information. So it is nothing but it is exclusive of taxes. So we can write it directly in the outer column. And then I have to add advertising charges. We have to add this one. Design and development charges. We have to add this one. Packing charges should be added. Loading charges should be added. Discount, 10% discount, this has to be deducted, shown in the invoice, and the rate of GST. GST is 18%. GST is 18% when they're not given any information. So we have to treat it as intrastate transaction. Intra means CGST and SGST. So now for 2,50,000, we have to add advertising, design, packing and loading charges. Means 2,50,000 is the main concept we have here. 15,000, 50,000, 20,000 and 8. So 28, 78, 83, 93,000 should be added. So it will be 3,43,000. This will be our transaction value. And I have to give the 10% discount on 2,50,000, that is 25,000. So remaining will be the amount whatever we have here. Selling price is 2,50,000, 15,000, 50 and 28,000. Add all the things. So now whatever things we have here, 15, 50, 20 and 8, 93,000. Add this one, 2,50,000 plus 93. So it will be 3,43,000. Now they said that one discount should be given 10% on selling price of the goods. Means on this I have to provide the discount, that is 2,50,000 into 10 by 100. So 0, 0, 0, 0 get cancels. 25,000 This is the amount. This has to be deducted. 3,43,000 minus 25,000, it will be 3,18,000. On 3,18,000, I have to charge CGST and SGST. 3,18,000 into 9%, 3,18,000 into 9%, that is CGST, SGST. So now 57,240 will be the amount. Add both, 3,75,240 will be the total value of supply. This is how we have to ascertain the value of supply. It is very simple and it is very easy, where you can get the marks easily in the examinations. Let us consider one more problem. Selling price of the supply excluding. So that means we can write it directly in the outer column, 8 lakhs. I can write directly outer column 8 lakhs. Advertising charges, add. Design and development, add. Publicity charges, add. Packing charges, add. Service charges, add. Freight charges, add. Loading charges, add. Discount, 10%. Discount is minus. And here GST is 12%. Means 12% means here 6% CGST and 6% SGST. Now, selling price of the supply is 8 lakhs. Add advertising 75, 20,000, 40,000, 15,000, 60,000, 40,000 and 10,000. 95, 1 lakh 35, 1 lakh 50, 2 lakh 10, 2 lakh 50, 10, 2 lakh 60,000. So now add this 2 lakh 60 to 8 lakhs. So we are going to get 10 lakh 60,000. Now the 10% we have to deduct on 8 lakh into 10%. 8 lakhs into 10 by 100. So this will be 0, 0, 0, 0. So 80,000 has to be deducted. 10 lakh 60,000 minus 80. So 9 lakh 80,000 is my transaction value. On 9 lakh 80,000, the CGST 6% and SGST 6%. So 58,858. So 1,17,600. Add both. 10,97,600 will be our transaction value, that is value of supply. The total value of supply will be 10,97,600 for the goods what we have supplied. This is the concept what we have in this problem. We have taken advertising, design, publicity, packing, service, freight and loading. The concept whatever we have here, it has been considered here, and the discount is provided at 10% on the selling price or the invoice price. On that we have to deduct, not on the value whatever we are going to get, 10 lakh 60 here. It has to be deducted only on the selling price of the supply. This is how we have to calculate the value of supply. Let us consider one more problem. I am Mr. Santosh, where I am residing in Bangalore. I am supplying a machine with other essential accessories to a person who is residing in Kerala. So now the transaction is between Karnataka and Kerala. So it is called as inter-transaction. So this attracts IGST. So whenever is inter-transaction, it is IGST, intra, CGST, SGST. Now, cost of machinery excluding taxes, I can write directly 10 lakhs in the outer column. Installation charges, add. Secondary packing charges, add. Design and engineering charges, add. Cost of material supplied, add. Pre-delivery inspection charges, add. Loading and handling charges, add. Other information, 3% discount at cash discount. This has to be deducted on the amount of 10 lakhs. We have to calculate 3% and we have to deduct that amount. Essentials are bought out, accessories supplied along with machinery, which was valuing 30,000, bought out goods are taxed at 5%. Means the amount what we are supplying with the machineries, additional components, where we have charged 30,000, which includes the tax already, whatever I've paid, that has to be excluded here. 30,000 into 5 by 105, we have to consider. And the GST applicable is 18%. That is directly IGST we have to calculate. What is the selling price? 10 lakhs. Installation charges, secondary, design, cost of material, pre-delivery, loading. See here, 28,571. How we got? 30,000 into 5 by 105. 30,000 into 5 divided by 105. So, 30,000 into 5 divided by 105. So, it will be 1,428.57 means 30,000 minus 1429. So we are going to get 28,571. That should be considered because it is inclusive of tax. So now if we add all the information, it will be 2,63,571. The total amount will be 12,63,571. The 3% discount, that is discount 10 lakhs into 3 by 100. 0, 0 get cancels. 10,000 into 3. So it will be 30,000. So 30,000 is the discount that has to be deducted minus that one. So 12,33,571 on 12,33,571. If it is intra, then 1,11,021, 1,11,021, or else if it is inter, it will be 2,22,042 will be added directly. 14,55,613 is the total value of supply. If it is intra, CGST, SGST. If it is inter, directly IGST. Right? Here in the solution, I have considered both here. If it is coming intra, CGST, SGST. If it is inter, IGST. But actually, we have to write IGST. That is nothing but 12,33,571. Add IGST 2,22,042. So it will be 14,55,613. 14,55,613 is the value of supply for this problem. In the next problem, same Bangalore and Mysore. So this is intra, CGST and SGST. We are supplying 50 tons of rupees 40,000 per ton. Means 50 into 40,000. So it will be 50 into 40,000. So it will be totally for me 20 lakhs. Add freight charges, packing charges, weighing charges, cost of instruments, that is add chemicals, insurance, add loading and unloading charges, cost of add 12,000, subsidy received from the state government, date of invoice issued was 10/4/2022, due date of payment is 15/4/2022, compute the value of taxable supply with GST payable 18%. Here there is no discount concept. Here there is no discount concept. Now, The 20 lakhs was the price of the supply, freight charges, packing charges, weighing charges, cost of instruments, insurance charges, loading charges, and pre-delivery inspection charges. Total amount is 7 lakh 12. Add both 27 lakh 12,000. Directly add GST at 18%, that is 9%, 4 lakh 88,160, 32 lakh 160 is the value of supply, and in this problem they have not given us discount. So there is no need to deduct the discount, and whatever the amount we got here, this will be treated as transaction value or taxable supply of the goods or services. In the upcoming session, we are going to solve problem on composite mixed supplies, goods transported by the agency, problems on time of supply, under reverse charge and forward charge under section 12 subclause 3 and 12 subclause 2. Namaste and thank you for all 6M BBA students.